Last time on the Just Create SMP, I moved away from my starter base to my main base island, taking my entire workshop with me. And then I built a brand new power station capable of producing a whole bunch of power. This time I intend to recycle my old workshop into a brand new mega workshop and storage system, as well as finishing off a couple of the projects I left over at spawn. And the main projects I'm referring to are basically decorating the underside of the lake, which I made a little bit of progress with on my last live stream, as well as adding to Dogtown, because we don't have anything over here yet, and it looks rather bland and bare. Now, because I started doing the bottom of the lake on my latest live stream, you can check that out on twitch.tv/FoxyNoTail, and the VODs for those are on my second channel. I'm going to leave the rest of that for my next live stream, which is tomorrow, which means today I need to focus on this Dogtown area, and that means adding in quite a few little buildings and things where we're going to open little stalls that don't actually sell anything right now, because I don't have anything to sell. Well, I suppose we could probably wrangle up stuff from my storage system, but I don't think it's going to be a great deal of use to anyone. But I've got some more interesting items that I was given on my birthday. Yes, the last live stream I did just happened to be on my birthday. And while I was streaming, Stam and Throwlash popped along with a couple of presents, even though they're both traitors and they hate me. In game, it's just part of the story, guys. In real life, we're all good buddies, mate. Throwlash popped along first and gave me this amazing smithing template, which means I can finally upgrade to Netherite Armor. And then Stam came along and gave me a schematic for a large tree, and that means that I can duplicate that schematic as many times as I want, and I get a whole bunch of large trees for free, other than obviously having to provide my own materials, which I'm not interested in right now because that's the last thing I need to be considering at the moment. What I would like to do, however, is get my Netherite Armor, and that means going to the Nether with my big old tunnel bore. Now, I don't actually have a Nether Portal over here at my new base area, and I think it would be a good idea to have one, particularly because in the not too distant future, I've got to create a whole underground subway network in the Nether for fast travel between all of the players' bases. So I suppose, with my base being one of those, it would make sense to have a Nether Portal here. And I'm not interested in making a permanent structure right now, so a temporary one will do absolutely fine, and we're just going to plonk that down over here near my boat, even though this is going to be a dock hopefully quite soon. Okay, so that's popped me out here. That's not ever so useful. Is there anything around me of any use? Oh look, there's already a staircase, kind of sort of a bit. Okay then, let's pop that down, unlock rotation, pop that down, out, check my filters, make sure they've got netherrack on them. They do, that's good. I don't need to adjust that then, which means we can basically just crack on. Pop a few bits of rail down so it doesn't get all upset. Just stick a bit of coal in it. Off you go, mate. Have some... Ah, no, I need to put fuel in. Oh, no, it's doing that thing again where it just... Oh, no, it's gone berserk. I'll stop it. No, don't do that. Create with your bugs, mate. Jeez. Now, look. Ah, fire. Let's try that again, shall we? This time, how about you don't go totally berserk? That would be lovely. Go. Aha. It is not being berserk. Well, I appear to have made a boo-boo. Not only have I just traveled through a lava lake, which meant I couldn't actually get to it, when I finally did dig my way around to it to get to it, I've accidentally broken the minecart, turning this entire thing into blocks, which means I can no longer pick it up unless I find another minecart, which is a bit of a problem. So I need to try and block this lava. No, stop it. Get a new minecart, put a new assembler down, and I don't think I have any iron with me at all. I do not. So now I've got to go home, get some iron, come back, fix this, and maybe do it somewhere where it's not quite as deadly. Great. I'll just be a minute. Stop. Stupid ghast. You broke my portal. Have you seriously done it again? You've turned all of my iron into iron sheet again. I had loads of iron. What's happened to all my iron? Right, stop making sheet. Stop it. Don't ever make sheet again. I'll do it manually. How have I got? I had loads of iron. I steal it from Stam. Nothing. Not even it. What? I guess I'm going to need some iron. Jeez. Anyway, let's go fix my thing. Good morning. Right, okay, back here then. Let's get my contraption back on the road, I guess. I need to make a furnace minecart out of those. I need to pop that on there, turn that on lock rotation, pop the minecart back in, pop it all back up again, take that away and run away from the lava. It's coming. Yeah, I forgot about that. That was going to happen. I've got to pick it up. I should have picked it up when I made it and then run away from the lava. I just need to try and... There we go. I got it. Ha! Don't want to go through the staircase because that's handy to have. Lava lake. Yeah, lava lake. And a bit of lava lake there, but we might get away with that. Right. Okay. Right, let's give you a little bit more rail and fingers crossed. Oh, jeez. No, I've done it again. Ah! I can make a little trench along here like this. That'll force the lava to go in there instead of on me, and as it comes past, I can whip it away. There we go. Whip it away. Whip it away. There we go. I whipped it away. Good whipping. Thank you very much. In that case, we'll go in somewhere else because this is ridiculous. Let's go find a non-death biome. Oh, Bastion. Sebastian. No, not Sebastian. Lava lake. Oh, just rubbish nether. Oh, lava lakes. Why is there so much lava? Right, this looks like a big land mass to me. This doesn't look lava. Oh, there's a lava lake, because there is. Big land mass. Alert, alert, there's a big land mass. And a ghast. And a lava lake. Run away. Oh, I have made a challenge. Ow. And a wall. Ow, what another wall. Well, the only place I can see that's not completely surrounded by lava is at this bastion here. Well, that's concerning in itself. But yeah, if I was to go underneath here, well, yeah, there's lava everywhere. Ah, no, we got a good stretch in that direction. So I guess we need to get down underneath this bastion somehow. Is there any brutes in here? I'm going to assume it's already been raided. I can hear noises though, so I'm going to run away. Ooh, maybe not. Oh, there's a brute. No, no. Oh dear, I'm dead. I'm dead. I love the nether. Everything worked so well. Right, spares. And yeah, the brute is still there. The brute is still there. Hello, sir. I would just like everything from my body. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Good. Right. Anyway, as I was saying, yes, we're going to dig down underneath the bastion and hopefully not die to any more brutes or lava. Oh, no. I'm still over it. Run away. We'll go over here. Be no bastion under this bit. And I think this level here will be perfect. And we've got basalt, which is something I actually want. So this could be good, as long as we pick the right direction to go in and don't run into any lava. We have finished. We have a machine absolutely full of basalt and blackstone, but more importantly, we got 23 ancient debris, which is fantastic. Let's just get this smelted down and turned into netherite. Smelt, my little smelty friend. Ow, stop it. And we can craft 6 from that, so let's just send that. We're also going to need a smithing table, which I've got no iron. Hold on one moment while I go get some iron. Just take a tiny weeny bit and there we go. Hardly any at all. Good. Excellent. Sneaky, sneaky. Just duplicate this a couple of times. Whip off my armor. Stick those on there. Stick those on there. Stick those on there. Stick that on there. And that on there. And that on there. And that's the majority of things done. And I could do my chest plate, but I'm not gonna, because I hardly ever wear it, you see, so it's kind of pointless. So now I can put those on. Be even more epic, but yet you can't see any of it. Wonderful. Right, job done. Next job. And of course, the next job is to sort out the Dogtown area at the lake. So I brought a handful of materials to help me with this job, as well as the materials that Legion and I left from when we actually started making it. So I guess, how hard could it be? All I've got to do is add in a bunch of little buildings, a little farmer's market, a rickety sort of miney thing up there. Don't know what I'm going to do with that, and then sort of try and make this look a little bit less bland. Maybe add some lighting and some lanterns. Let's do this. Well, there's one quaint little building for our little dock town, and I think it looks all right. It's relatively simple, but it does exactly what it needs to do. It's got some greenery for color. It's got some limestone for more color, just to stop it all being spruce. And we've dotted a few barrels around and made the walkway look a little bit more interesting and worn around it. Inside, there is absolutely nothing at all, ready for somebody to set up a shop or to do something with it if they want to. And that means I can now move on to the next building on Docktown, which is going to be a little farmer's market over here. And for that, I'm going to need villagers, but I think I'm going to get it all set up first and then worry about villagers. In order to build this farmer's market, or fish market as I should say, I'm going to need to be shopping, which is why I brought myself over to the shopping area. And this is a good opportunity for me to see what's actually new over here, because a whole lot of stuff has been built and I don't even know what it is. So we're going to start over here with Chosen Powder Company, who is selling powdered concrete, which could come in useful, but that's not really what I'm after. We've got a building over here with that looks to be in construction, so let's not look further into there. There's a purple one here or a magenta one here, which is maybe also under construction. It is. And we've got Mr. Beardstones, which is full of stones. Across the road, though, is the one that I actually want to be coming to, which is the Diomat. And the reason I want to come here is for these tablecloths. Whilst I don't believe they're actually on sale here, I have brought some wool with me, and I'm hoping to dye that wool various colors. And this is a system where you can just pop in a diamond, dye your stuff, and there you go, you get your dyed things back. So tablecloths for this little area, I think we're going to be probably going with light blue, probably yellow, probably lime, and probably red. So let's get some diamonds, let's get some wool. I'm hoping I can do a whole stack of... I've just put a whole stack of... Oh, jeez, I broke it. Eggs, I didn't know I could put a whole stack of diamonds in there, mate. Eggs. Where's the little entrance to get in the back rooms? Oh, jeez. Eggs, I put too many in. There's going to be a clever system in here somewhere that deals with all of that. Oh, jeez. Be locked in a hopper, probably? Oh my goodness. No, which one was it? There's the red one. So behind that, we've got a... That just... What? So that goes straight into a vault, which has only got 44 diamonds in it, whereas other vaults have not got any. Right, got 43 in there. Oh, so they're ticking down. Right, okay. Well, after reviewing the footage, it turned out that I actually only put 45 diamonds in there, which I did manage to get back all of except one, and then I put a few more in to get the other things dyed. I also bought some pack mud from Chosen, and I bought a crash. Where were we? Just wait a minute for everything to load in and settle down. Eventually, we got the weird floaty things in the sky again. What are those things? That's the top of depots. Right, best not ask questions. Yes, I bought a bunch of frog lights from Stam, or at least I believe it was Stam's shop. I'm not 100% sure. So now that that's all out of the way, there's no reason I can't start building this fish market. We have a nice little fish market with no villagers in it, but we do have some stalls that sell cooked cod and cooked salmon and underwater bits and bobs. We've got some sushi over here and some radioactive sushi there, and we've got this nice little ice box with all of the raw things on it and a couple of drowned heads as well. But I think it works. We've got some snow and ice from the little ice box coming down onto the floor. We've got the messy floor where people have been walking around, and overall I think it looks absolutely great. It goes lovely on this little dock. But of course, it needs people to actually work here, and that means villagers. And I don't really want to add more villagers to spawn because, as you guys probably know, we've been struggling a bit here. Although not really, since we got the new server upgrade, thanks to Nodecraft again, like I said in the last video. But I believe Chosen has some spare villagers in here that aren't doing anything. What did I just walk into? They were all sat down last time. So were these guys. Yeah, I was going to borrow some of Chosen's, but I guess what I need to do is speak to the other server members and see if anyone's got any spare villagers. Or the other thing I could do is just use some straw statues and have some fake people selling stuff. Because don't forget, these are not actually shops you can buy things from. Well, not yet anyway. And probably never going to be, because I can't imagine anyone's going to want to buy by any fish or drowned heads or used treasure maps. So we'll see what the future holds. For now, I need to crack on with the next bit, which I don't really know what I'm going to be doing with this. I'm thinking here maybe just sort of a little fishing hut raised off the dock with a hole in the dock where they can actually fish from, which makes no sense because there's a giant lake right here that they could be fishing in, but I thought that could be kind of fun. And over at this bit, I do want to do a little bit what like DeJojo's got going over there, but a bit more rickety going up here, allowing us to get up to the surface there, and also maybe having a mine entrance in the wall. But that will still leave this sort of area spare that I don't really know what to do with. And as well as that, it would also leave all of that spare and all of that spare, and I really wanted to get Docktown finished today, and I've got a feeling it's not going to happen. Oh geez, maybe I could say that my bit is done and Legion's still got a lot of work to do. Yes, that sounds good to me. And there we go. We have a nice little fishing hut with a little pond outside with a little man that I've tried to make it look like he's actually doing fishing by attaching a rope to a stick, or a fence post in this case, which is attached to a boat underneath this water area. I also messed about with the different colored dyes that we've got, because we can use liquid dyes with different colors, basically attempting to make it look like Mr. Beardstone was pumping out some more sludgy stuff into here, and it was funny to me that that's what he was fishing out of, as opposed to the clean water in the lake. But unfortunately, these dyes don't mix very well with the normal water, and because they're not see-through, it didn't really have the right effect, so I've given up on that. The building itself is relatively simple. We've used some of the dripstone like I've got in the floor to make it look a bit more messy, along with the stripped spruce logs. Jeez, I can almost say that. And of course the spruce roof and the spruce fences, and basically it's a whole lot of spruce with a spruce door that leads into a very sprucey looking interior. Tried to make a little bit of a kitchen area here. I didn't have any cobblestone to make a furnace, which is why we've got a block of andesite there, and I've given him some shelves, a little dining table with a fish on it, and I think that will do for this chap. So yes, moving on to the next thing, and I was thinking here would be a good place for a big old sign that says something like "Welcome to Docktown," but I don't think we can have angular signs, so I'm gonna have to do a little bit of testing. So here in this flat world, there's a couple of ways we could do this. The first one is using immersive paintings on a big old board like this, and hopefully if I spin that, no, it just disappears and falls off. Well, that's annoying. I guess immersive paintings is not going to cut it. The other mod we can use is the camera mod, and that comes with these. It doesn't quite fit, but we could work with that. The question is, can I get that to stay on when I move it? Spin it around. No, it moves, but it doesn't go with it. Oh, that's annoying. So no, I can't have a picture on an angle. You stock pictures that don't go on an angle? In which case then, I think the best place to put our sign is not in the corner behind me, but over on one of these walls, because I don't really know what we're going to be doing with this bit, so this bit might be a good place to put it. And alternatively, I'm not sure that Throwlash and I are going to be doing this wind power thing at spawn anymore, so perhaps we could block off a good chunk of this by putting a big old sign in front. And there we go! Look at it in all of its glory. It's marvellous. And it doesn't quite cover up quite as much as that big gaping hole as I was hoping it would, but it'll do nonetheless. I'm sure it'll catch people's eyes as they're in the area, and they will come over to it and look at the writing which says, "Welcome to Docktown. Relax and enjoy. Warning, large laggy boats can be seen operating in this area." Because of course Stam's managed to graffiti this already. Oh, naughty Stam. Right, anyway, moving on to the next part of this, which is going to be something here that I haven't decided on, and I'm thinking to take a leaf from the Villagers book and build some very simple little villager style houses. Not big ones like this, of course, because I don't think that will fit in Docktown, but some of the smaller ones, like these. I think these will fit perfectly. So this time-lapse is going to need a bit of a talk over, because as much as villager houses are very quick and easy to build, a surprising amount of things went on while I was building them. Starting with the first villager house, for which I copied from the village, switching up some of the textures to make it fit with the existing Docktown builds, and adding a few extra bits like fences and gates to make it feel a little bit less simple. Then, for some reason, I decided I needed pale moss carpets growing up the side of the building, but I didn't have any pale moss, or any pale garden things at all. But as I know Stam is obsessed with the pale garden blocks, I knew he'd have some. So I nipped over to his base, borrowed a couple of grey concrete powder pale moss blocks, and took them home to bone meal them into even more. Once I gathered all that up, I realised that wasn't going to be enough. So I took a trip to an actual pale garden over 7,000 blocks away and proceeded to tear it all down, gathering pale oak logs, pale oak leaves, pale flowers or whatever they're called, the little pale viney things hanging from the trees, and even more grey concrete powder, pale moss blocks. Once that was all done, I set to then farming up a little bit more glow lichen with some of the bone meal I left over, gave Stam his grey concrete powder blocks back, before heading back to the dock to start on the second villager house, for which I barely had enough room to squeeze in between the first one and the cliff. Again, I modified the original villager house slightly with different materials, a few extra details, and it was done, albeit in the wrong place. But that's nothing a mechanical piston can't fix. So I shifted both of the villager houses I just built 3 blocks to the left, which made all of the pale vines and glow lichen fall off. But then I put them back together again and started on the third villager house, which was also very, very small. Once again, I changed up the textures, added some extra details, threw in a very small interior, and it was done. 3 houses in about as many minutes. All I needed to do now was decorate the actual dock around them, which involved smashing lots of holes in it, replacing them with varieties of dripstone and mud slabs and bits and bobs like that, throwing down a few copycat boards and texturing them with barrels and stripped logs and other things, and then throwing down a whole bunch of actual barrels, leaves, glow lichen and other things to mess it all up a bit and make it feel worn down and used. Basically just trying to add a little life into the whole thing, which I feel like I've achieved. I think they look great. I'm very, very happy with them, even if they are just spruced up villager houses. I have added some signs onto the front. This is Ropey's Rope Shop that sells rope. This one is Little Lanterns, because on the inside there is a little lantern. And this one here is Bushy Bushes, because this one sells bushes, or leaves, I guess. Not that any of them are actually selling any at all. I have added an interior into this one now. It was where I was just keeping all my shulker boxes and things while I was building them, but now it's got some tablecloths on here and a little upstairs here with some barrels in it. And that's basically it. And yes, I've made the Docktown sign even bigger. I've made it as big as it could possibly be, which I think makes all the difference to this area. The only problem I have now is that this video is over 20 minutes long already and I haven't done any of the things that I actually wanted to do in it. I also haven't finished the Docktown area. I haven't finished it. Oh jeez, I haven't finished down here. So I'm basically running very far behind, which means this video is either going to be incredibly long or I'm just not going to have achieved all the things I wanted to achieve. Let me know in the comments which one you think I'm going to do. And speaking of the comments, I got some names for my boat. In the last episode, I asked you guys to come up with a name for my boat, now that all of the drills have been removed and it's no longer drill boat. And I had all sorts of suggestions, but most of them were focused around my name, FoxyNoTail. Things like Boaty No Sail, Boaty No Drills, Boaty McBoatface, of course, and a bunch of other ones like that. And I think I really, really like Boaty No Drills. So from this day forward, it shall be known as Boaty No Drills. And I will forget that, and I can't actually name it because it's not on a bit of station that's straight enough to disassemble it, name it, and put it back together again. So we'll just have to remember that for the future. And speaking of the future, it's about time I moved into the future and started getting some of these things actually finished off. Expect now a big cut to me having completely finished the Docktown area. Maybe, possibly, maybe a bit. Unlikely. Are you gonna cut then? Yeah, in a minute. I'm just getting there, mate, so that I could, I don't know, really. I should have cut ages ago. Don't know what I'm even thinking. I really should have cut the video. Just cut the video! All right, jeez, keep your hair on, mate. Jeez. I'm working on it. Just press the cut button. Well, there we go. That took me forever. A lot longer than I was expecting, so I've decided to actually show you it. Here we go. we've got a big old wiggly rickety staircase all the way to the top, which you can either walk up and down or you can ride on the chain conveyors up and down. We've got 3 little mine entrances in here that don't actually go anywhere at all. They are purely for show. I've decorated them so you don't ever see the ends of them from the end, and I think it all looks really good. I've integrated some of the pale moss stuff again, a lot more of the glow like, and a whole bunch of leaves and other types of blocks just to really make it feel sort of broken down, worn old mining area. We've got the ores on the dock here, we've got some pallets of ores there, and we've got the little Cranky's mining hut. Yes, that's a reference to Donkey Kong. And yeah, that's also a pale gardeny thing with a little interior here with some diamonds in it, because why not? And as this sign clearly states, that's my side of the dock finished, apart from the big sign, because I did that. So yeah, I consider this part of Docktown complete, apart from the lake, which I'm going to attempt to do now. Oh, geez. Oh, geez, indeed. Finishing off the lake took well over 4 hours, not just placing in ridiculous amounts of dirt and gravel, but also resource gathering and even making farms. I started by creating some underwater terrain with the shulker of dirt I had on hand to use as a base for the gravel that I then placed on top. The idea here is to make the lake feel like it's dipping towards the center, sloping down from the edges with some uneven terrain at the bottom. But I had hardly any gravel in my storage system, and I knew I'd need a lot of bone meal later on, which is when Stam popped by, offering to give me some gravel for a shulker of sand. He then took a little stroll around my half of Docktown.
Is there any fish for sale?
No.
When are you going to start selling the radioactive sushi?
When I've made the farm for that. This is Ropey's Rope Shop that sells rope. That doesn't sell anything yet.
Oh, okay, yep.
This is the little lanterns shop that doesn't sell lanterns. Yeah, yeah.
No,
Yeah,
no,
no.
okay.
And this is the bushy shop that doesn't sell bushes yet. And once he was completely disappointed that none of my shops actually sold anything, he then let me spend some time at his moss farm generating some bone meal. With the bone meal ready, I threw together a temporary sea pickle farm in the center of the lake, utilizing a moving floor design which proved to be the fastest sea pickle farm I'd ever made. And it didn't need to run long. It generated an entire shulker box worth of sea pickles in just a couple of minutes, which was all I needed for the lake. And now that I had all of the resources I was going to need, I grabbed some schematics of some vanilla shipwrecks in a flat world and then blasted them into the bottom of the lake with the schematic cannon, all the while mildly concerned that perhaps another man may suddenly appear inside one of the wrecks. Fortunately though, the lopsided degraded old wrecks were Roman free and served as just a little bit of variety and interest at the otherwise very, very grey, boring lake bed. With the decoration in place, it was time to turn this grey landscape green, starting with sea pickles, planting them sporadically all over the bottom of the lake, making it look like it had some sort of ugly green rash. The idea was to have enough of them to prevent or at least reduce the number of drown spawning in the lake, while also adding some variety to the upcoming foliage. And that's foliage in the form of seagrass. Tons and tons of seagrass, suddenly manifesting all over the surface of the gravel just by hitting it with a little bit of bone meal. But it was too much, as the seagrass has a tendency to fill in far too thickly. I'm sure that's probably a word. I had to go around thinning it out a little to make it all look a little bit more random and natural. And just as I'd finished doing that, Mr. Beardstone arrived to take part in the exclusive new Shipwreck Tour that I just decided was a thing.
Enjoying your swim down there, are we?
I'm having a lovely time. How are you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm all good. I'm all good. There appears to be some danger zones in your port for any incoming boats. There's a couple of sunken wrecks, it would seem.
There's a couple of yeah, there's 4 of them. Yeah. Would you like to go on the sunken wreck tour? It's only a diamond. Yeah, okay. Oh, hang on. Right. If you'd like to hop into the water.
Yeah, I'd love to.
There's one there, and there, and there, and there. There you go. I hope you enjoyed the tour.
I can only see 2. Oh no, there's a 3rd one. Yeah, I'll send them all now. I did thoroughly enjoy that tour.
Yeah, I'm glad you did. Worth the diamond, wasn't it?
Is there no, like, you know, historical references, how they came to be, any of the history of the area? None of that on this tour, or?
No, well, it's one of those make up your own story tours.
Right.
Yeah. You use your imagination and just imagine how they got here. I'm putting it down to bad driving.
Is this entire dockyard build yours, by the way?
Yes, everything on the bit. Well, and let me come out of the water and show you.
Yeah, me too.
More helpful. Right, so you'll see there's a couple of signs here that signify where my work ends.
Right. Okay. So this is a joint project because I came down here the other day. I think it was actually in my last episode, which I did message you about because I don't know if you want the spoilers in there or not. It's a video that goes out Sunday, and I don't know when yours does.
Hopefully today.
Oh, okay, cool. I will leave it in then. I will leave it in. But so I came down here. There was a couple of buildings. There were some market stalls. I was like, oh, this is cool. Who's doing all this? And then I saw a couple of copycat slopes on the ice, and I was like, oh, it's Foxy.
No, shh. Hey. There's like
no,
3.
I know. It looks very cool though, Foxy. I have to admit.
You've got to have
so is this
some
going to
fresh
be like?
fish.
Is this going to be like your own little shopping district then? What's
I'd like it to be eventually, but at the moment it's just for show. But yes, at some point I would like to open squid farms and glow squid farms and fish farms and all that sort of stuff. And eventually get it going. So
you're going to be the water guy.
Yeah, why not? Whee!
Yeah, no, I like this.
Thank you.
I mean, this is just fun. I'd have paid a diamond for that as well. You missed out.
Oh, well, there you go. That's the story of my life. Miss Beerstow, before you go, look, there's been a vandal in the area. Have you seen my sign?
A vandal. Stam was here. Yeah, I reckon it was Stam.
Yeah. Looked like Stam to me.
Yeah, see, I saw it was sprayed in green, so I thought it was going to be one of those go green shenanigans,
No.
which seems to have no explanation. I have no idea what that's about.
No, me neither. I think Throwlash and I have pretty much completely given up on the old power station plan since putting a big sign in front of the hole so that
okay, so you can't see the hole anymore.
Yeah, that's the idea. Yeah,
so I just stick like a giant animatronic kraken in there and you'll be fine.
I was thinking if I get the time at some point, Big Skull Pirate Bay.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
You can have like a little boat ride that goes through it.
That's what I was
thinking.
Little pirate
scenes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, little dark rides.
Make some money out of it. Well, thanks for popping by. Thank you for giving my side of the dock the tick of approval. I don't know what Legion's been up to, but it's very lacking on his side. I mean, I only just decided today that it is his side. But
oh, okay, I see. So he's slacking off, but also doesn't know.
Yes.
Classic Legion.
Yeah,
classic Legion. Yeah.
Well, that was unexpected. And yes, for once, I'm actually not using my full brightness mod because I wanted to see how well my sea pickles were doing underwater. The problem is, though, because I have a conduit, I don't need the full brightness mod because I get full brightness underwater. So that was kind of pointless. Anyway, it's kelp placing time, and then this area is completely done. Hurrah! At last. Sea pickles don't appear to have stopped the drowned fellas from spawning though. So for this kelp then, rather than just littering the entire lake with kelp, I think I'm just going to do it in patches near the dock to sort of signify it being overgrown where that is, and a little bit less kelpy where the shipping lanes are. So I'm just going to go around placing kelp, just like I've been doing with everything else, I suppose. Well, that's all the kelp I had planted. Now all I've got to do is let it grow while I dismantle my temporary sea pickle farm, which works so well I don't really want to get rid of it. So I might take a schematic of it and then get rid of it. That said, it's very easy to build. I can build another one. I'm sure it won't be a problem. And there we have it. The lake is now done. All of the kelp, I believe, has grown. As you can see, we've got a little bit over under the dock all the way around the edges. Not too much. I think there's probably a little bit too much going on here, but that's what we had originally. And I've just dotted it around the sides over there and the sides over there, keeping the area in the middle a little bit more clear because obviously that's where the boats would be, which would, you wouldn't want kelp in your rudders, basically, would you? Is my theory. And I think, considering the size of this lake, I've done a reasonable job. Now, we did talk about on my live stream how I could have made it really special with all sorts of different blocks and textures and moss and all of that sort of stuff, and it could have looked amazing, but it's such a huge undertaking just slapping down some gravel, sea pickles, sea grass and kelp, as well as these boats, that if I had done that, it would have literally taken me forever, so it would never have got done. So I'm happy with what we've achieved. It's not the best, but it is good enough, which is basically my mantra. mantra. And that now means overall, my little portion of the spawn area is complete. That doesn't mean to say that I won't be adding shops over at the shopping area and working on a few more things around here in the future, but for now, my journey here at spawn is complete, and my episodes going forward will all be based at my main base area, unless I've got stuff going on here or with other people. But mostly, I really want to do that pirate ride though, but not now. Busy.